You know what my favorite things of this whole election cycle has been? Yesterday. When Biden and Trump sat down in the White House, Biden voted for Trump. I guarantee it. Look at Biden. Look at his smile, dude.
Trump's like, whatever. Dude.
Look at his smile, man. That's like when your kid gets married.
One question, Mr. President. We just got information that Donald Trump won by one vote. Mr. President, can you tell us who you voted for?
Joe Rogan just absolutely took a flamethrower to Obama and woke Democrats, as well as revealing that many of the people in Hollywood, musicians and more, all privately thanked him for endorsing Trump. What a coincidence. We've seen more and more people come out now being open and supporting Trump. You've got NFL players doing it all weekend, celebrating with his dance. You've got UFC fighters doing it on the weekend. John Jones did the Trump dance. Lots of people calling out Trump directly. You've also got just more mainstream kind of approval for being a Trump supporter now. And people are ready for change. And the fact that Joe is saying, hey, all these people came to me privately and thanked me for endorsing Trump is exactly what I expected. Huge shout out to this video sponsor, Meta PCs. It's a computer I use. It's a computer I trust my business to. Promo code quartering to save on yours. You can do custom builds and have ready to ship stuff as well. Also, to the Quartering Christmas edition cookbook. We obviously have our fall or our summer one, which is full of hilarious memes. Our Christmas one, also completely full of hilarious meme recipes that are also delicious, like Newscomb's San Fran log, fell out of a Christmas tree eggnog, and Thanksgiving ballot stuffing, and I have information about the Clintons' cranberry sauce and McMega fries and things like that. Makes a perfect gift for you or the Trump lover in your family or their triggered lib or office Christmas party. Head on over to tailgatesnumber4trump.com. Get yours today at Meta PCs as well. Joe Rogan says many in the entertainment industry had privately thanked him for endorsing Trump. Rogan said that he heard from artists, musicians, comedians who are all grateful because they can't do it for public fear of being attacked. Podcast host Joe Rogan said that many unexpected sources had privately thanked him for endorsing President-elect Trump in the 11th hour before his electoral victory. In the wake of an election where Trump won both the Electoral College and the popular vote, many have spoken about the power of podcasts in swaying votes of young men across multiple racial groups to support Trump. The Joe Rogan Experience host spoke Wednesday about how much backlash he received for criticizing Harris. Quote, a lot of what people say is that they say because they don't want to attack them. They say it because they think if they say it, it will clear them. They'll be okay, Rogan said. If you say you support X, you might not even support X, but if you say you do, then you're not going to get attacked, and the right people will leave you alone or agree with you and appreciate you and praise you. Rogan then said that many creatives and groups associated with liberal movements of the past have been silent supporters of Trump. There's a lot of that out there. There's a lot of people that don't speak their mind. Do you know how many artists have reached out to me like effing hippies, man? Artists, musicians, comedians thanked me for endorsing Trump because they can't do it. I mean, I just want to take a second and say, you're not really living in a free society if that's the case, right? I mean, have you ever heard of a fascist Hitler guy who you couldn't publicly support without backlash? You know what I mean? If Trump is truly the fascist that they say, then don't you think support for him would be universal and praised? It's wild. The podcast host continued. They said that they wanted to, but didn't want to be attacked. They can't say it. They think the country's going in the wrong direction. They think control of social media by the government, which we would have had pretty much fully if it wasn't for Elon buying Twitter. Rogan endorsed Trump the night before the election, citing his interview with the billionaire ex-owner and Trump backer Elon Musk that was released that day. During the appearance on the podcast, Musk said that President Kamala Harris would use the levers of government to shut down X. On Wednesday, Rogan argued that the majority of the media being dominated by one ideology is a dangerous precedent to set. And whether it's a right-wing government or a left-wing government, and that is what's happening in the UK, where people are being imprisoned for tweets and Facebook posts. It's effing crazy. That's all true, by the way. Mind-bending. The whole thing is nuts. Rogan continued, and it's a dangerous path we're on. We're on that path. Trump has vowed to have free speech become a very important part of what he's standing for, and that censoring of information needs to stop, and then we all need to stop government influence in what people have to say. Well, we just saw that in Brandon Carr's FCC appointment that Trump had. He is a staunch supporter of free speech, and it should be praised that Trump made that assertion. You also saw here Trump talking about, or Rogan talking about her spending.
Because when someone's got that kind of money to do something that people are going to look down upon if they find out if it's true, that's what makes me skeptical. Because like someone who has that kind of money, for her, $10 million, it sounds crazy to say this, but I believe that for Beyonce and Jay-Z, $10 million is not noticeable. It's not going to change their life at all.
No, change their life, but you still notice. Like
I think they're billionaires, dude.
Beyonce's got almost $1 billion.
Yeah, and I think he has $1 billion as well.
Interesting.
I don't think they're going to notice. So that's like not going to change your lifestyle.
But it could get you out of your house to go do a thing that puts you in the news.
Is that what you want?
Well, think about the Super Bowl. All those people that perform the Super Bowl halftime get paid $0.
Right, but
why
it's
do they do it?
Tremendous advertisement.
Because they do it.
But they perform. She wasn't even performing. She was just talking.
Who knows? But we do know that you see Joe Rogan guarantees Biden voted for Trump. The president has never looked happier in his life. Yeah, I agree with that assertion. I guarantee you that MFer was happy. He had a giant smile on his face. He said, welcome back to him. He joked. I thought that was Hitler, the podcast host said, recalling past rhetoric from Biden condemning Trump. I thought that he was super dangerous. It's so nuts. Rogan later added, all the different things that happened during this election are wilder than anything you've ever seen in a movie. He wrote, Rogan went on to say, Rogan immediately began laughing. Look at Biden, his effing smile. Look at his smile. That's like when a kid gets married. One of my favorite things about this whole election has been yesterday when Biden and Trump sat down in the White House. Rogan said, Biden voted for Trump. I guarantee it. I effing guarantee it. I never saw that dude so happy in his effing life. He lost. His party lost. He was so happy. Yeah, I mean, this is what I felt too. I mean, on election day, not a lot was made of it, but Dr. Jill went out and voted in all red. I don't think that is a coincidence. I don't think that that's a coincidence. You see here, Donald Trump gets excited when he sees Joe Rogan for the first time in their interview. Watch his face. Yeah.
Congratulations, sir.
You can see him there. He said, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. I don't know what else he said, obviously. But, it's Trump knows. I think Trump probably wins the Electoral College without that interview. But I do think that Trump probably won the popular vote, at least by as wide of a margin as he did, because of that interview. You see this, Joe Rogan takes a flamethrower to Obama and explains the moment he stopped trusting him.
We did trust the government, but which is such a weird thing to say. I used to think it was the Obama administration, but boy, Obama during this Kamala Harris administration, it changed my opinion of that guy.
Boy. Really? Did you have a high opinion of him before?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Just as an intelligent person, a statesman, I felt like he's probably like caught up in the system. It's very difficult to make real meaningful change. You think you're going to do something, and then you get into office, and you're like, oh God, what a fucking quagmire this place is.
Fair.
But watching him just straight up lie about Trump the thing that got me was that very fine people thing, the white supremacist thing. They just kept trying to say that he was a racist, which is this thing that I think worked in like 2017. Yeah, I think it worked back then. I don't think it works anymore. I don't think people believe it anymore. I think that we've gotten numb to all this stuff.
Well, it's the sky is falling thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like you cry wolf or whatever. It's like you guys can only call me a fascist so many times. I mean, like the New York Times wrote that article a couple of years ago, right? Where I'm like, it was the front of the coffee cup where it's like, do you want Trump 2024? Do you want low taxes? Do you want this? Do you want that? I'm like, I want all that. Sounds good. And you can only call me a fascist, racist, asshole. I mean, to be fair, like I can float into the asshole category relatively easy, but you can only call.
Yeah, you see this? Where's the lie? There ain't one, so don't bother looking. Look, I never cared so much for Obama. I did. I liked him when I first, I voted for him the first time, and then he started bombing brown kids like crazy, and I was like, oh wait, he's actually not the hope guy. He's the drone guy. But now seeing all the nonsense he spews all the time about Trump. I was never out, but I was never in, but I'm definitely out on him. I mean, remember when Obama said he would never be president? Well, now he was president twice, the maximum times you can be. And it says here, do you know how far left you have to be to convert a Bernie fan into a Trump fan? That's almost impossible. And Obama, along with the lying left, found a way. Now, I still don't think that Joe Rogan is a Trump fan. I think that Joe Rogan got along with the guy. He respects him. But he's more of a fan of like RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, and people in his administration like Brendan Carr and things like that. I think he likes JD Vance. But I don't think, Rogan's a quote unquote Trump super mega fan. That I just don't, I've never seen any indication of that. I think they respect each other. I think that he sat there and he talked to him and he thought, this is a real guy. This guy's, it's not true what people said about him. I don't think you're going to see Joe Rogan coming out and endorsing JD Vance in the next presidential election. I think that this was pretty unique. But JRE is on an absolute tear. I think that if it's possible, Donald Trump put Joe Rogan over even more, which is wild. It's wild to me. You see of this last week, downplaying of the concerns over their economy. Joe Rogan's been having people on that are like sympathetic to Trump, maybe not hardcore Trump supporters, but like Theo Vaughn, 3.3 million views. They're sharing. They're more like anti-establishment people. They're more like me. Although I really like Trump, and I hope that has a better term this time around. I felt pretty unfulfilled by his first term, other than the financial benefits of it. So I'm hoping that, he comes back around. But, I think he's got the right people around him now. I think that he's been informed. I mean, look at this. JD Vance clip, 3.1 million views. Federlump, 90,000. So all these people are coming on. I think they're kind of red-pilling Trump. Joe's thoughts on the Trump podcast, if Kamala will be on, 8 million views. So, yeah, it's good. Now Trump's got to deliver. He's definitely putting the right people in the right place, and so he's got to deliver. And I will criticize him if he doesn't. Make sure, by the way, don't forget our Coffee Brand Coffee Advent Calendar starts shipping later this week. If you haven't pre-ordered yours, pre-order it now. It's the best Advent Calendar, Coffee Advent Calendar out there, bar none. I challenge you to find a better one. Go ahead and look. Also, don't forget to pre-order your Quartering Christmas cookbook, and the original Tailgates for Trump cookbook is out there. It is a meme-tastic, feds in a blanket, all sorts of memes in here, and they're also delicious recipes. It's the perfect gift for your Trump-supporting family member or the triggered lib or your office gift party, all sorts of stuff. Big booty Latina spritz and giggles. Gotta love all of that. These memes are a little deeper than the memes in the summer book, but I wanted to lean even further into fair use and make sure that everything was above board. Of course, our threat to our Dumont cookies and things like that. Link in the description down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.